Are you a certified Scrum Master and you have been working so hard to get a Scrum job and nothing seems to be working? I want to show you what exactly you're missing in the picture and why you're taking longer than expected. Now, if you're also interested in getting into Scrum but you don't know what to do, then stick around the next 2, 3 minutes. I want to show you clearly map out the step-by-step process that you need and what you probably are missing in the picture. So I'm going to show you. I'll go ahead and share my screen, and I'm hoping that you can see my screen now. See, this is a track record that we have used to help more than 200 people get into Scrum. And the goal here is not to talk about the number of people who had job using this system. The goal here is to be able to show you a step-by-step process to help you identify what you're missing so that you can know exactly what you need to do. Now, let's consider that you are here, right? You're at the point where you need a Scrum Master job. And you're asking yourself, why am I trying so hard and I cannot get a job? And you're also asking yourself, what can I do to get a job? Now, let's look at a couple of things that will help you to close the gap. Let's start from here. These are the core things that stop people who are in the market but are not getting a job. These are the core things that are stopping them. Number one, they lack practical experience. Number two, their resume is not good. Number three, they lack confidence. Number four, limited leadership skills. Number five, poor interviewing skills. Number six, poor communication skills. Number seven, no peer support. And number eight, no structural coaching. Now, we've been able to build a program that help you to move from not even having a certification to having a certification in less than 90 days. I want to show you exactly how that works. Now, the first point, which many people have completed, is by having a Scrum Master certification. You can do this online almost with the help of nobody, except for Scrum Alliance and Scale Agile, where you need a consultant to actually walk you through. I know many people have also been in boot camps for 90 days and they end up being getting them almost no result. But then this is what they are missing. Now, when you get a certification, it's as good as getting a certificate. It doesn't give you anything out of the knowledge. See, so what we've been able to learn by actually evaluating the process over the past 3 years is that many people lack the language. I'll give you an example. Now, let's take, for example, you just graduated as a nurse. If you're talking to a nurse that has been practicing nursing for the past 10 years, they can like, oh no, this one is just coming from the book, right? Now, when you get a certification, get an interview and start interviewing, that's how you sound. You don't yet master the language. So we create a system that helps you to master the language, what to say, how do you speak in a way that you sound like a Scrum Master. We call this our level one in our structural 90 days coaching, which is why it's very, very important and it's helping a lot of people identifying the gap and what they are missing in less than no time. When you actually master the language of a Scrum Master, for you to move to a level two, you need to sit on a panel interview to assess your knowledge. Many people never get to have any assessment before they get on their first interview. They actually realize that they don't know what to say when they have an interview. Now, imagine going to your first interview when you have real life scenario interview. You've been interviewed by a Scrum Master and Agile coaches to actually validate. You're going there with a super confident, which is one of the reasons why most of our students within their first, second, third interview, they're able to close the gap. Why? It's not their first time interviewing. They've been doing this over and over again. So a community of practice is definitely not just a place to do question and answer. It's where we groom you, we put you to gain leadership skills and to gain mastery. Now, until we validate that you have been able to master the language, we don't move you to the practical room, which is our level two. Our level two is where you learn how to facilitate as a Scrum Master, and we put you in a Scrum team, a regular Scrum team. You're having Scrum event every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we're working on different project, migration project, portal project. We're working on data engineering project. We are working on software end-to-end project. We're working on cloud development project. So you get to experience that first-hand knowledge. So many of our Scrum Master, when they go through our process, they're confident enough to walk in the first day on site and start helping their team from scratch to the end point. Right. So this is a unique system that is missing. Now, you realize that if you have not been able to go through a system like this, what you will do is that you will struggle a lot in your process of getting your job. You don't even know what to say. You don't even know what simulation is like. You've not been in a position where you're facilitating as a Scrum Master. You've not been in a position where you can see what developer do. You have not been in a position where you're actually taking out an idea, converting that into epic, breaking down into capability features, loading them on your board, and then running a complete sprint, having feedback, coming to present to stakeholders. Now, this is a reality you cannot miss, right? This is why our training programs are outstanding, and definitely trust me, you cannot beat them. And that's why those who come into our community and they're able to leverage this process, what happened in less than no time, they're able to close the gap. Now, let me show you something. Many people, when they get a job, they're like, oh, Ray, I got a job. And now they're going to stop doing what? They will stop practicing. But instead, we put you in a continuous learning process, which is why many of our Scrum Master in less than no time, they're able in their job to be converted to full-time, to be moved to higher position as ROT, Agile coaches. We have seen this happen over and over again. Why? After you get a job, the learning begins. You continuously learn. We have weekly masterminds and all of that to get you in a track. Trust me. And one of the questions I often get a lot of people ask most of the time, you ensure that it's not just about putting me in a pool of a system and I'm struggling to find out my result. No, this is the difference. We create what we call a tribe. Right. This is exactly how a Scrum team operates, right? A Scrum team is a cross-functional team. We don't put you in the middle of everybody. You're part of a tribe, and you actually have what we call cohort. So this is you here. You're not just dumb in the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna go back one bit. You're not just dumb in the middle of nowhere. You're part of a tribe. You have a dedicated coach, and then you're aligned to portfolio. So we set our teams more like ray walking teams. And that's why at the end of your training with us, you don't need to go shadow anybody. You can walk in, you understand how the system works, you have a support system that works for you. This is outstanding. And trust me, you cannot beat this. Now, if you actually have listened to me from start to end, I'm sure by now you figure out what you're missing. And if you think this is a system, which to me, it's a system that has been outstanding, and I've helped more than 200 people, can it help you? Yes. Now, because you've watched to the end, book a 30-minute free session. Send me a direct message. Look in the link below. You will see my number. Send me a direct message like, okay, Dr. Francis, I think this is exactly what I need in my process, and I want to get a free 30-minute session with you. And I'll share my calendar. We'll get on the line. Ask all your questions. I'm here to answer it. My goal is not to sell your program. My goal is to help you identify what you need to close the gap. If after your session you feel like, oh, you know what? I think your system can help me. Good. I'm glad to help you. But if you find out that, oh, I figure out what I'm missing and I can do it all by my own, good. The goal is to get you to a point where you know what to do. Right. So take advantage and schedule your system. Now, there are very limited spots. If you go to my calendar and you don't see a spot, send me a text message. I will find a way out to you, or I will inform you when I have more space open in my calendar.